I'm George Walker, photojournalist at the Tennessean. I've been there a long time.
I'm David Plazas. I'm the opinion and engagement editor for the Tennessean. I write editorials and columns and also manage opinion. So the series is called The Costs of Growth and Change in Nashville, and it's about looking at what's happening in the affordable housing sphere. So it started out with months of research thinking about, everybody's talking about the fact that Nashville's getting more and more expensive. Everybody's feeling it. Meanwhile, we're hearing this talk of It City, the new Nashville. But what does it really mean for the people who have lived here for a long time and who are being priced out of this community? So the idea is to tell the story, raise consciousness, raise awareness, and at the same time, hopefully to come up with some solutions that will help us become a city that can be for all of Nashville.
As a native, I've always been interested in how this city is changing and what's going on. And when you look around and you see old neighborhoods that don't look like they used to anymore, you see what was middle-class workforce housing kind of, and it's now it looks completely like it's unaffordable. I mean, I don't think I could live there, and I'm sure many people who've lived there before are looking at it going, is this city for me anymore? And so, that's one of the things that has interested me because I'm a native, and is this, so my friends and my neighbors and people I've grown up with, I'm just curious. I mean, who is this city for again?
It's a great point because this led us, the empirical stuff, the anecdotes helped us come up to some data. And what we found, for example, is that since 1962, when Metro formed as a county city government, we've been on a pro-growth mode for the longest time with different eras of renewal, be it in the suburbs or in the urban core. Right now we're in an urban core renewal aspect at this moment, and what it's doing is causing some great things to happen, of course, to Nashville. Nashville's promoting itself as a great tourist destination, as a place for music and food and fashion, but at the same time it's a place that's becoming unaffordable. And there are also some trends that are national that have hit Nashville really hard, and one of them is the renter's dilemma. There's a renter's crisis. Home ownership has dropped to record low levels. About a decade ago, it was near 70%. Today, it's about 61%. And where Nashville is building is for the high income earner when it comes to rentals. And that's really pricing a lot of people out. The average household income is about $52,000, and that's not enough to afford $2,000 to $6,000 a month in rent.
I'm not sure that, in things that I've done, I mean, David has done most of the research and the hard look at numbers and that kind of stuff. I've been out, talking to people, talking to real people who have been in this situation or dealing with this situation. And I don't know that there's much that has surprised me, but it is good to know or good to hear from the people that are being affected by this. And those folks are where the real stories are.
Because I haven't been here as long as George, there were several surprises for me. First of all, the big surprise was how aggressive some people are at trying to get people to sell their homes. That's something that was new to me. I didn't realize that was happening until we did the research and until George met Sally Dell, who is now the inspiration for a country song. And Sally has a placard that says this home is not for sale, and is really adamant that she's going to die before she sells this home. And that kind of tension that you have between the development community, realtors, and people who just want to live in their neighborhoods, by their churches, by their services, by their friends, they're really having to make a tough decision, because if you do sell, where do you go? And there's not a lot of places that are comparable. At this moment, the affordable areas, we're told, at least from the research we're seeing, is Madison and Antioch, but even Madison is getting more and more expensive. Antioch, despite being more affordable, still has really no direct transportation routes that are easy to access, and Bell Road is a mess half the time. So there's some real issues that people are dealing with, and George did a great job with Kenitha Patterson, who was a woman who, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about Kenitha.
Kenitha was a woman who lived in an apartment complex that was near downtown in the Edge Hill neighborhood, and now lives in Chapmansboro in Cheatham County. It takes about an hour to get to her place now, and she is way out there and sort of in the sticks, as you could say. And so it's kind of unfortunate that she's away from all the things that she's known for her life. She's also a native of Nashville and is now living in outside in the counties. think Nashville is in a direction of growth. Of course, I mean, and growth is good, but we can't forget about who is here and who is from here, and who has benefited from the services of the city, and benefited from being it, and benefited. We can't forget about the people who are from here. We can't forget about the fact that that's what makes Nashville Nashville. And if those people aren't here, if everybody has to move out of the city, then what is Nashville?
I think from the affordable housing perspective, we heard a lot about that during the mayoral campaign of 2015. Now there has to be execution, and there's been a lot of good things on that front. But what's very difficult is that we're in a really hot booming market. Zillow has named Nashville the #1 real estate market in the country, and you have a lot of tensions when it comes to supply and demand. Those are things that are out of the hands of government. There are some things that are being done. There's some serious efforts from the city, from Mayor Berry and her staff, to address affordable housing. The question is, how fast can you do it? 100 units of affordable housing have been created using the Barnes Affordable Fund. That's not enough. People are saying you need 20 to 40,000 units of affordable housing, and that's going to be very difficult to accomplish. So from the standpoint of, is there the intention? I believe there is. Will we be able to execute it? That's yet to be seen. And right now, the economic situation is really against us at this moment. I'm looking forward to the CNN Changing Neighborhood session very, very much, and the reason is it's an opportunity to raise consciousness again. If anything, I think nonprofits have to speak up. They have to encourage their clients to speak up, because a lot is changing very, very quickly, and if we don't move now, if we stay silent, we'll miss an opportunity to really do something that's effective. So there are a lot of good things happening with Nashville. We're moving forward in many good ways. We're seeing some tremendous developments and benefits from now being the 25th largest city and growing in this country. But at the same time, we have to watch those who are the least among us.
Well, our affordable housing series is running like the last Sunday of every month. So pick it up on the newsstand, or hit the www and go to Tennessean.com and read what David and I have to say.